from a very basic level, let's try and apply our basic face, chest, and stomach block movements against the dummy. It's got some pool noodles around it that is going to act as the limbs, and that will help us during solo training when we don't have access to a partner, we don't have someone to train with, to still try and understand what we are doing and why we are doing the specific movements. So let's take the limbs and we put it on the shoulders, our arms on the outside, our opponent's arms are around the neck, and we're pressing and we're trying to get free. Now, the first movement in the basic block is in, cross, and then up. The in movement is what we're looking at first. Now, it doesn't have to be lift and drop. When doing the conditioning against the hanging beam, the idea might occur to you that I'm always striking. This isn't the case. What that is showing you is that you are putting pressure on those arms. You are pressing them in. You're trying to bring them to the center. So if we look at the block, the very basic way of doing it is I'm going to use one arm, it could be either arm, and I'm going to press on the top of the arm and slide it down to the crook of the arm, to the elbow of the arm here. So I'm pressing. And from here I'm going to release my shoulder. I'm going to bring my left arm underneath. I'm not going to drop the arm too low. I just want to bring it as close to my opponent's arms as possible, constricting them here, using the shoulder to break out, bring it above the arms, and from here you are now on the outside and you can start trapping your opponent's arms and hitting them. Again, remember, this is in theory and this is a very, very basic way of looking at our face block. So let's look at it again. I'm not blocking any punches coming my way. We're in the fight, we're being grabbed, we're gouging at each other, biting, spitting, yelling, whatever. I take one arm and I put pressure on its corresponding arm here. I press down. Then I bring the other arm as close as I can to my opponent's arms, use the shoulders to release, bring it over the arm, and then I'm in a position, in an advantageous position. Right, so that is the face block. Let's look at the chest block. The chest block is usually when something is coming your way. So that means you would find your arms at the bottom here and you are blocking. So we're going to take that natural response of getting the arms up and use that against the dummy. So if the grab or the punch or whatever is happening and we cover, from that position I'm going to use my forearm to press forward against my opponent's arms and then have access to the face. So it's a bit more of a flinch reaction and then a pressure movement. One way to look at it. So from here, we have the limbs coming our way. We're going to, all I want you to do is cover up. It might be right arm in front, it might be left arm in front. That doesn't matter. Whichever arm is in front is the one that's going to be pushing and I'm going to be hitting. So someone grabs at me, I cover, I press, and I hit. So let's do that slow motion. 1, 2. So it doesn't have to be fist, it can be open hand. Remember, the fist is just the basic practice. It is the movement behind it, the pressure movement that I find cover and push that we're looking at now. So from here, cover, press, and we start our attack. Let's look at that one last time. Cover, press, and then start hitting. Okay. Now let's look at the stomach block. So again, for this one, it's more ideal to think of it as someone grabbing your clothes. So the face block, we had really up close and personal. We want to break out of the strangle or this neck grip here, and we want to use the shoulder to be able to push. The chest one, we looked at, the attack is coming our way, we cover, we have a flinch reaction and we move in. For the stomach block, we are being grabbed. And since the clothes is relatively loose and movable, you can use that with the arm to control your opponent. Now, it's a little bit difficult showing it with the dummy that isn't really gripping my clothes here. So what we'll do is I will take one hand and I will hold the corresponding limb to my chest here as if I'm holding, as if my opponent is grabbing me. So I'm holding it in position. This might come through as a strike. Whatever happens here, gouging at the eyes, I find the opportunity to attack the outside of this limb here. I'm bringing the elbow over, and then I'm controlling, and from there I can perform a shoulder lock, or if it slips out, I can get into a choke, into a tackle, whatever you want to do, get behind them, put them in a full Nelson, that I leave up to you. But the point is that you are being grabbed, you find the gap, there's the arm, person's grabbing you, might restrain their wrist, drop the elbow onto the crook of the arm, clear, move in. So whatever you want to do from there, I leave up to you. Right, so that is a very, very basic way of looking at those three blocks in a slightly more realistic way than saying someone's punching at my face and I'm blocking, someone's punching specifically at my chest, and I'm so quick that I can calculate, right, that's going to hit me here for some reason, and I block, and someone is now punching or kicking at my stomach, and I'm going to block. That part I find unrealistic. So if we look at normal fight, the arms are around my shoulder, above my shoulders, around my neck, fight's going on, I find the gap, I release, I'm in, I start fighting back. My opponent is grabbing at me. Flinch reaction, push in, hit. My opponent's grabbed my clothes, hitting, drop on the arm, clear, and finish. So it gives a bit of a different perspective to those three blocks, but it's nice to train against a dummy at home. Have fun.